Hey everybody, it's a Ronnie rant. Ever wonder why history is being taught less and less in schools? It's because knowledge is power, and especially historical knowledge, because those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. So let's talk history for a second. Germany began World War I by invading France through the Ardennes forest. The forest is so thick and has so few roads that the French thought it was impossible. But the Germans did it anyway. Then fast forward to World War II. Guess how they invaded France in World War II? They went through the Ardennes forest again. Seriously, they did the exact same thing, and France was somehow caught off guard. Oh my God, right? But it gets worse. You've all heard of the Battle of the Bulge. It was the last German offensive of World War II, and it was like a desperate 11th hour Hail Mary pass that really didn't accomplish much because they failed. But the beginning of the Battle of the Bulge, they were hugely successful because they caught the Allies off guard by invading through the Ardennes forest again. So if these people can be fooled when they know history, imagine how bad it's going to be when you don't know history. Lenin, Stalin, and Trotsky were the early leaders of the Bolshevik/Communist Party in Russia. They told the peasants, who were the poor people, that they spoke for them, and if they gave them power, they'd make their lives better. They demonized Christianity. The peasants, the poor, supported them, all in their promises of a utopian society where everyone was equal. The Tsar was overthrown, and the communists swept into power. Eventually, though, Stalin and Trotsky had a feud, and at first, Stalin just forced Trotsky into exile, but in the end, he had him assassinated in Mexico City. The people they called the intelligentsia and anyone who opposed Stalin were first scorned and finally eliminated. Christianity was banned altogether. Children were indoctrinated by schools and other programs to be brainwashed as early as possible to believe in the communist agenda. Guns were banned for everyone except the ruling class. Once the citizens were disarmed, though, Stalin purged millions. They murdered them. Whoever opposed him and were deemed radicals or unacceptable, they were just simply murdered. He became a dictator, and communist Russia suffered for years under his leadership. Then let's take Adolf Hitler, Ernst Röhm, and Joseph Goebbels. They were all the original leaders of the Nazi Party in Germany. They told the poor that they spoke for them, and if they gave them power, they'd make their lives better. They demonized Hebrews, Judaism. The Chancellor Hindenburg was forced to cede power to the Nazis, and eventually, though, Hitler and Rome had a big feud, and Rome was rounded up with his SA troops on the night of the Long Knives. All were executed. The Jews, homosexuals, and anyone else after that who opposed the Nazis first were scorned, but then eliminated. Communism banned altogether. Children were indoctrinated by Hitler Youth and other programs to be brainwashed as early as possible to believe in the Nazi agenda. Guns were banned for all except the ruling class. Once the citizens were disarmed, Hitler then purged millions of Jews and other undesirables because they had no defense. He became a dictator, and Nazi Germany suffered for years under his leadership. Does any of this sound familiar at all? Barack Obama and the rest of the liberal Democrats basically are telling the poor that they speak for them, and if they give them more power, they'll make their lives better. They demonize Christianity. They tell the poor that the rich are their enemy. The poor support them and their promise of a utopian society where everyone is equal. The conservatives are slowly being overthrown. Now it appears that Barack and Hillary are having a feud, and he's going to support Martin O'Malley for president. He has virtually exiled Hillary Clinton, and we know what happens after that, right? Our children are being brainwashed as early as possible to believe in the liberal agenda through Common Core. They are trying to ban guns. Does any of this sound familiar to you guys? What comes next? Another Stalin? Another Hitler? Hitler used the fake national emergency of the Reichstag being burned to the ground by the communists to declare martial law, and it was never repealed. Stalin used the Nazis, and it was never repealed. So if those two men declared martial law, and that was the end of their country as they knew it, what do you think is going to happen here if all of the circumstances leading up right now are exactly the same? Does Barack Obama strike you as the man, with everything that he's done, who's going to turn down absolute power to keep us free? Anyone? Bueller?